All right, hello everybody. Thank you for clicking on the video. I'm trying to jump back into posting stuff a little bit more consistently. I've given my prediction on who I think could, if the playoffs started right now, who's going to the Stanley Cup final. I gave one for the NBA finals and stuff as we're trying to get back into the groove of things because we got March Madness right around the corner with college basketball. We got the why the hell can I think of, we got the NBA coming down to the line for the playoffs, then we got the NHL, and so we're trying to cover three sports at once. And so I thought, because it was a great suggestion by someone, because I made a tier list of the NHL for the preseason going into it, and man, it got some reception, and a lot of people, it was either like, yo, this is a solid list, or what the hell are these kind of opinions. Start of the season, it's up for anybody. But now, as we've played a lot of games and we're coming down to the stretch, you can kind of see who's going to be in, who's going to be out. And so, yeah, let's just jump into the video. All right, so let's start with the bottom tier. From what I have seen recently, just because I'm trying to get back into hockey, I've watched maybe 5-6 games this week. My demote to minors, I have 5 tiers. My demote to minors tier, I got to go with the Ducks, the Blackhawks, the Shark, Ottawa, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Coyotes, the Habs, and the Sabres. I mean, these teams year in and year out, like they struggle, and I really don't see them trying to make a push to get to the playoffs because they're just so far behind points-wise, and there's not enough games left. So for the not bad, not good, I'm going to first start with the Penguins. My goodness, they have struggled. They're getting whooped right now.
We got our asses kicked
By the Capitals, 4-0. These teams, too, they've had some hot stretches. And then they're having some fall from grace where it's like, oh my gosh, this team needs to find a way to turn it around. And they're running out of time, basically, because there's, 22, 23 games left in the season. And so this includes the Devils, the Penguins, the Flames, the Wild, the Islanders, the Blues, and the Predators. Moving up to our third tier. Right in the middle of the pack, early exit. These are teams that I personally can see, 1 through 8. They secured one of those 8 seeds in the playoffs. Got the Capitals. I really think Ovechkin can make a final push to try to get to the playoffs. And I would put more money on the Capitals than the Penguins. And who are those other teams on like the Devils and the Islanders, Detroit too, those teams that are kind of on the bubble. I'd put money on the Caps to try to make that final push, get an 8th spot. The Red Wings, I mean, they've had some flashes of greatness, and then they've kind of fallen off on sometimes. I mean, Patrick Kane's OT winner against his former team, man, that was awesome. But then we got the Flyers. They were hot there for a second. Now they're starting to fizzle out. The Jets, the Kings, and the Kraken. Solid playoffs. Right now, you got to give it to the top team in the West, the Canucks. But I haven't watched enough Canuck games to go, yep, this team is the real deal. Plus, the number 1 team last year also lost to an 8 seed. So it's like, I think they could get to the Western Conference Finals, and they could go on a deep run if the cards stack in their favor. But this isn't a team that I think can hoist a cup, and same can be said with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know Austin Matthews is having a phenomenal season. He had an OT winner the other night to add to his goal total this year, but it's still the Toronto Maple Leafs, you know what I mean? And the same can be said with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Carolina Hurricane. But the 2 teams that I'm kind of like, ooh, they could be a legit Stanley Cup contender. The Oilers, considering how much they've turned their season around 180 degrees from when we wrote them off at the beginning of the season after the first 15 games when they won 4 of them. And so got to give a little bit of credit to the Oilers. But then the Panthers. The Panthers were there last year, and they had a little bit of that magic in them that got them there. But I think right now, as the top team in the East, there's way too much pressure. When they were the top team in the East, handful of years back when they won the President's Trophy, what happened? They crumbled. And so Florida right now, I'm just kind of like, Yes, they went on that magical run, but Florida's still Florida. And so then let's jump to the top. You got to give it to the Golden Knights. I know the Golden Knights have been on a stretch lately where they've been struggling. Now they're in the middle of the pack. This is still the defending Cup champs, so I think they could turn around in the next few games. You got to give it to the Rangers. The Rangers are hot right now. Same with the Bruins. The Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. I mean, usual suspects, and I wouldn't be surprised because when you look at the teams, you got to go, okay, can this team, and with these 5 teams, yes, I could see the Dallas Stars hoisting a cup, And truthfully, too, and I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to say it multiple times from here on out, Jake Ottinger, he goes on a phenomenal run, as a backstop, or Igor Shesterkin for the Rangers. Hell, you can throw in Aiden Hill, for Vegas in their route to try to go back-to-back, or Olmark with the Bruins. It's like whichever goalkeeper is hot in April that rolls into the playoffs, oh my gosh, they're winning the cup. I mean, Bobrovsky last year for the Florida Panthers, I mean, he fizzled out in the Stanley Cup, but it's like he turned into a brick wall, and that carried them through the 3 rounds to get to the finals. And so I could see those 5 teams that I just listed off, Vegas, New York, Boston, Colorado, and Dallas, I could see them all lifting the cup over the next teams that are a little bit lower in the Canucks, the Leafs, Panthers, Oilers. So those are my opinions on that. Again, this is just opinion based. Don't get triggered. But a lot of it, and I was talking about in the NBA video, a lot of this is pending on injuries, even though like hockey guys are tough sons of guns. Injuries happen. I mean, Carolina, the Hurricanes, they were dealing with it last year. Momentum swings too. Seriously, I think if anything, from how successful the Bruins were last season, it's like they could be the greatest team on the ice. But it's like, look, if they can't put it together for 4 games, they can't. So, and now the, narrative around the Panthers now is they got one on the cup after their trades. And so, yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.